Okay, so just as that tractor disappears into view, I'm out of breath because I just climbed up on that fence to take a picture, and it was quite funny because I was sort of wobbling to and fro like a dad trying to dance. Anyway, a couple of things that I don't like about my Saab. I'm going to show you. Let's have a little look at the cabin in a bit more detail. Right. Why is it doing that? Is it bonging because the key's in? Yes. So we take the key out and it stops bonging. But this button here locks and unlocks the car. And I find that a really annoying place for the button to be. I'm sorry if that's just me. I apologise. I just find that odd. I also don't particularly like the handbrake, which is there. Secret handbrake! That's kind of funky, isn't it? So I genuinely was looking for the handbrake earlier on. Now, roof operation is very simple. It's just this button here. I'm not quite sure what that is. Super glue or something, so that obviously needs cleaning off. Look at the way these buttons have worn. I mean, that's not really acceptable, is it? These ones aren't too bad, but when the lights are on, you can see that they are all quite worn. So, I mean, that's just classic GM money-saving, crappy plastic. Yeah, that's just Saabs of this era for you. They weren't built quite as well as the previous generation, but a very nicely appointed interior. I mean, it's a nice colour combination, isn't it? What colour would you even call that? Beige, cream, grey, beige grey? I'll probably call that beige grey. But I like it, because if it was grey, it would be boring. Don't like grey interiors. But generally, there's not really too much to report here. Do not cover, rollover, pop-up bar. You know, not a great deal to report. Just a nice, quite clean looking car, really. You know, there's no damage anywhere around it. I've got Continental on the back. I've got a Michelin on the front. Should we pop the boot and see how big the boot is? Yes, let's pop the boot. Where's the button for the boot? Anyone's guess. Here's someone that hasn't owned his Saab for very long. I believe there's one on the key, which is there. There must be a button somewhere else as well. Also, that's not a key. I don't know what that is, but it's not a key. What does that button do? I was hoping it would do. Apparently it sets the alarm off. I was hoping that would do the roof, but no such luck. Right, let's have a little look in the boot then and see how much space we've got. Now, this is where the boot design of the Saab 93, is disadvantaged over something like the Astra Bertone. You've got half your boot taken up by the design of the boot. There's not a huge boot in that at all. You can't really do much about that. That doesn't really particularly move. The soft top cannot be folded down if items are stored within the shaded red zone, which is basically the whole boot. So, yeah, not a load of boot space in a Saab convertible, especially, you know, and I can say that because I had an Astra Bertone convertible for quite some time as my main sort of family car, and it was dead practical. And I could get a kid's bike in the boot, but I couldn't do that with this. But then again, with a convertible, you just chuck it on the back seats, don't you? So, unless you're carrying kids, that is. There's more space in here than in the back of my Bertone, that's for sure. And the interior is nicer, and it drives better. And basically, it's better in every way, apart from, and this is a controversial point, I know this is going to be controversial, I think the Bertone's better looking. Not from the front, I'll give you that, but from the side. The side profile of the Astra Bertone convertible is lovely. But this is one very fine looking car, isn't it? It really is. Should we have a look at the engine? Let's have a look at the engine. Doubt you're going to be able to see much because it's just an old Vauxhall diesel engine, isn't it? Basically. Right. Yep, there's an engine with some very rusty pipe work. But then again, it's a high mileage engine, so it's 170,000 miles. You know, what did you expect? 2006, so it's what, 15 years old? Generally, pretty good looking car. Yeah, I could live with that. That'd be a very easy car to live with. I've ordered some new centre caps for the wheels because they're a bit faded, but that's a great looking little car. Yeah. Bit dull, perhaps. Is it a bit dull? Oh, I think that's just smart, isn't it? Let me know in the comments. 6-speed, manual gearbox, 1.9 diesel. It's probably got about 150, 155 horsepower and 45 odd miles to the gallon. So can't really complain about that, can you? Also, it's got this. Yes. Excellent. Start it up. Now that it's quiet, you can hear what it sounds like. No tractor jokes, please. It does rattle away, doesn't it? Just having a little rattle. Got a bulb out there at the front. Easy enough to go and sort out. Yeah. So I guess the question has to be, do you sacrifice, you know, speed, power and petrolhead kudos for fuel economy? And in this case, yeah, I would. I'm very comfortable and I'm driving this car like a granddad and getting like 45 miles to the gallon. And when fuel is £1.65 a litre, no word of a lie, that's what I just paid. I think that's acceptable. It's okay to drive a diesel convertible, guys. Guys? I hate people that say guys on their YouTube videos. Viewers, friends, Geoff followers, I'm here to let you know that it's okay to drive a diesel convertible. It's all right, so long as it's old. Actually, I don't know. Is it? I'm torn. I'm very torn. I'm very torn because I've always traditionally been the sort of person that believed that the only acceptable model of BMW to drive was the M Sport, and I've always believed that the only acceptable model of any car to drive was the manual, and I've always believed that the only acceptable convertible is the petrol. But now I'm getting older. Maybe I'm growing up and maturing. I think it's okay to have a diesel convertible. But it's not. There's only certain diesel convertibles that I think are acceptable. No BMWs, that's not acceptable. In fact, this is the only one. Sorry about that. You might be able to have a Volvo C70, but I've yet to try one. And they didn't do a C70 diesel in the shape that I like, which is the earlier style C70, what I would regard as the Mark 1. So it's okay to have a diesel convertible if it's quite specifically this one, and only if you do a lot of miles. If you don't do a lot of miles, right, it's not okay to have a diesel convertible. Okay, so it's okay to have a diesel convertible if it's this one of these, a Saab, and you do a lot of miles. Glad we cleared that up. It's not okay. I love the seats, it's very comfortable. I like the way it feels, I like the way it looks. I think it's a smart looking car. But there's also quite a lot of things that I don't like about this Saab 9.3. I don't like the fact that the plastics look like they've done 500,000 or 1 million miles, which is crazy. Like, I mean, I know GM were cost cutting at this time, but the level of wear on the buttons is massively unacceptable for the age of the car. I don't like the materials, but that's only because I've jumped out of a 2003 9.5 Aero, which is just built better. Yeah, I don't like the fact that the key goes in the middle. I don't like the fact that you can't move the key unless you do something quite specific with the gears, which I will never understand. I don't like the fact that the unlock button for the doors is on the door handle. For some reason, it just seems to me like it should be in the middle here. So, whereas I've always said that the Saab 9.5 has got the switches in the wrong place, now that I'm driving a 9.3 that has got the switches in the correct place, I feel like they're in the wrong place. So make your mind up, Saab, because really, your unlock switch should be on your left hand, because generally your right hand is on the wheel. It shouldn't be on your right hand, because to unlock the door, it just doesn't seem to quite make sense. I mean, I know lots of different cars do things differently, but yeah, it just doesn't seem to be quite right. Inside, I've got a slidey armrest, which is great. I can slide that backwards and forwards and get myself a little bit more comfort. I've got somewhere to put a coffee cup, which is brilliant. I've got an ashtray. I've got the world's best cup holder. which is a flippy outy turny roundy one, which are the best sort of cup holders. The old pheasant flippy outy turny roundy ones. And I've got quite big door pockets, which is good, because places to lose my wallet. Pockets behind the seats are rather large. Yep, check. I don't have the double headrest thing going on like I do on the 9.5, which is a great shame because it's one of those little quirks that you'll never, ever use. But you can tell people, oh, look, I've got two sun visors. No one ever uses them, do they? It's just nice to think that you've got them. There's no pocket on the front of the seats. There's no heated seats in this, which is a real shame. But my seats are manual, and I'm okay with that. It's okay to have manual seats. I don't see the need for anyone to have electronic seats. What's the point? They're just going to break. So overall, my 2006 170,000 mile Saab 9.3 1.9 TiD is great. I really like it. What did I pay? I paid £750, which was mate's rates, because as I said many times, this car came from someone who I'd already bought a car from, and she knew that I'd just go down on the train and not haggle and not mess around. So I haggled and I got it for £650. Seriously. She sent me a WhatsApp saying £750, last price. So I said, you got any movement on that? I have always sung the praises of the Vauxhall Astra Bertone on this channel, as you know, because I had one of those long term. The roof mechanism on the Saab is slightly different to the Bertone, actually. The deck lid doesn't pivot upwards with a hinge at the back. It actually lifts itself up completely. It's quite mad. All in all, my Saab is a very smart car. I like it. Yeah. Get cold now though, because I've got home and it's gone cold. Why does this always happen to me? Usually what happens is I say to myself, I'll get the car clean when I get home, and then I'll nip out and do my video. And I get the car clean and then it pisses it down for the rest of the day. YouTube's most boring car channel.